how did we open up, Anthony? We opened up with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match,
which consisted of Big Time, Becky Lynch, Asuka, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Shotzi, and Alexa Bliss.
What was your expectation of who might win that match?
I honestly thought Becky Lynch. I thought Becky Lynch and Rollins were going to hold both briefcases.
Yeah.
It'd be the first couple.
Sure, I in the back of my mind, I kept thinking Liv Morgan probably, because they've been giving her a wee bit of a push, but not a massive push to the point that she'd actually take it.
Yeah.
But what did you think of the match, though, overall?
Look, it's a ladder match, you know. Bodies flying everywhere, ladder carnage. But I thought it was probably one of the better ones they've had.
Really?
To an extent, because, you know, when we look at the names in it, if we go up...
Oh, the names,
yeah. Look, there was botches.
Yes.
You know, it's a ladder match. You kind of expect there to be botches here and there. Look, I thought to open the card, it was perfect to open the card because it got the crowd, like, especially like when Liv won, it got the crowd hot, you know?
Mick, you're our technical expert. What did you think for an opening match?
Look, I know that WWE likes to use at least one of the ladder matches or Money in the Case matches as an opener. Generally, they do, and a lot of times with the women too.
Yeah.
Match wise, it was okay. I like that. You know, you couldn't have picked who was going to win it really, because you know a lot of people did say Becky Lynch. Liv was an outside chance. You also had Lacey Evans there, which they wanted to give somebody a good push. Lacey Evans, they've been giving her a good push. That's an opportunity. Person who stood out in this match most of all for me, actually, as a little bit of a breakout star, was Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah, she's look, I've seen her on NXT, and I don't know. I'm a bit undecided about her. I mean, look, she's big, she's strong, but I don't know. Is there something missing? Is there?
I think a little bit of personality.
Yeah, there's not bit of charisma, is there? Like,
but it could happen if it does happen for her being in there with Lacey Evans, obviously Charlotte, which we've all said that she's the best female in the world. Becky Lynch. You know, at this point, there's a few others that are just generally very, very good, right? That are working towards, you know, bigger and better things. The match itself was okay. The outcome, I was actually a little surprised at the outcome of Liv Morgan going over. Not that I got anything against Liv, but I don't know. To me, I don't know how much push you're going to get from her. She's always going to be. I can't see her being, part of the main scene. You know. But you know, as we talk later in this show, how that changes.
Yeah. I see her maybe as someone who's young, getting a bit of a push. It'll please everybody that she's won it, but I think will really just be a transitional champion.
I think so. I
really do. I can't see her. I mean, she was on Raw today, and like you watch her because once you got the strap, like it's a different level, and the expectation is different that you're, supposedly the best in the world and blah blah blah. And I got nothing against her. I like her. I got absolutely nothing against her. I don't see her as like world champion material.
Nah, she doesn't look like someone who can set the table for everybody else. That's when you're champion, you have to set the table and everyone else eats from it. But
I think it's a fantastic experience. I think it freshens things up a little bit. But, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. And I don't know why they've gone that direction because, if you wanted a transitional champion, it could have been Alexa Bliss. Asuka's had the belt and she looks strong and she could have been a transitional champion. But obviously they've wanted to bloodlive Morgan for a reason. Maybe they see some bigger and better things with her. I don't know.
She's certainly
depends.
She's good.
Yeah.
She's good.
Oh, she's good, but she's not. And there's nothing special there. Jeez, it's hard by saying it not to sound nasty. But
I know what you mean. But
if you look at any of those girls there, right? She's not as impressive as Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel is a bit green yet, so you wouldn't put the belt on her. Hasn't got the experience of Becky Lynch. Hasn't got the athleticism and that of Asuka, right? I think hasn't got nowhere near the athleticism or personality of Lacey Evans. So it almost Shotzi's not even in the picture. Alexa Bliss. Something with Alexa.
Her at the moment.
She's verging on the point of being a Sable.
Well,
it's just there for looks, right? Well, I think Alexa Bliss is more than that personally, but she's verging.
I love her. I think she's great.
Yeah, but I don't see Liv in any one of those areas. So Shotzi's the only one that she's sort of in there with. As far as Lacey Evans should have already had a belt, in my opinion, at some point. Who 5'11" woman,
ex-Marine, weekend,
and looks all the shit she does looks legitimate.
Yeah,
looks legitimate. All of it. It looks, amazing. I mean, I think out of far as workers and making shit look real, right? It's Asuka and Lacey Evans.
Well, Lacey came out today. In some tweet or whatever, saying, I don't care how long my contract is, I'm going to keep shoving myself under their noses because I want that belt.
Yeah.
She was genuinely disappointed she didn't. And when you think about the big push they gave her to come back and the whole life story and the heartache and hardships and whatever, and she's got back, to me it would have seemed like the natural next move to get it.
Yeah, I get it, but if you had her with the belt, and this is what I think, they're waiting for Charlotte to come back. They're waiting for Charlotte to come back. That's what this is all about.
Well, if she comes back.
If she does, right? You want to put Charlotte over Lacey Evans? Not really.
Well,
no offense to Charlotte, but
a feud.
Yeah, but not particularly. You'd much rather her, if you have Lacey chasing it, be better.
Yeah.
That's what I think, and I think that's what they're thinking is, Shotzi. I don't know what she was even there for. Most of her stuff, I'm not really that impressed with. Becky Lynch, they've wrote her in because she could have won it.
Yeah. What they're doing with her at the moment, she's a bit.
Storyline very similar to what they did to Christian, where he'd get close and fail. Remember back in the 2000s?
Yeah.
You think you're going to get a win, and he gets a loss, bit like that. I don't know what they're trying. She's already heel, so I don't know what they're trying to achieve by doing this, other than making her look like a real poor loser.
Yeah,
and that's all they achieved with Christian in the end.
Interesting, and I know you don't want to read stuff into nothing, but even like her husband Seth Rollins, like he's been on a massive losing streak. The two of them. He's on a pay-per-view match, and how many? Oh, I can't remember. I saw the stats. I think
he's not getting a legitimate. He's not getting a great push.
No.
Look at his push. He's there. He makes the big match, and then a bit like Becky Lynch. And then loses it or something goes wrong or it doesn't work out. I don't think there's a look. They were so dominant, in 2021, right? At 2020, you have to call them off somehow. But you're better off send them away instead of dropping them out constantly.
Yes,
give them 6 months off. So,
but then they worry that they don't have star quality, so they keep them. But
that's a big problem too.
And that's sort of the trade-off. Well, do you cool them off, or if we do, then who's going to step up? Cody's injured. Jeff Hardy's gone. Not that he was probably there, but
WWE has got that desperate now that they book Logan Paul. They've signed Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not saying that's a bad signing, but you are signing outside of any form of talent pool there is. You are signing a guy that is literally just said, I've walked in off the street and I'm wrestling.
Yeah, but see, again, with him, it's a wee bit like the Ronda Rousey thing. It's the following they bring.
Yeah.
Like with his podcasts and all the other stuff he's into and whatnot. And
yeah, but is he a wrestler? That's the question.
Well,
I mean, if you wanted to say, let's do celebrity wrestling, yeah, fair enough. Start a show called Celebrity Wrestling and let's get,
Ed Bunny and him.
the kid that used to be a bass player of the Partridge Family in there and freaking let's go and get, some kid that used to be on Different Strokes and have them punch on with each other. I mean, there's got to be something. It's got to stop the madness. Yes, we know it's a worked fighting and that kind of thing system, but Jesus, let's go and let's reanimate Gary Coleman and put him freaking in there. I mean, to me, it's getting a little bit beyond a joke. Vince needs to spend WWE needs to spend some of their time and money and train and invest in good talent and train them and bring them through. If they're not going to work, if they're not going to recruit from the indie system.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of talk that the ex-NRL player who's in NXT at the moment, and oh my Lord, I lost his name for a second. It was there. Samoan guy, ex-NRL. It'll come to me. I'm sorry, I've lost it again. But there's talk of him and that Steiner's boy coming up. And they're starting to use that Ciampa a bit too, but...
Well, they've used him as a mid-card, almost a jobber. I mean, this was their former NXT champion.
Yeah.
Tommaso Ciampa's probably, I'll say he's within the top 5 in the company. Now there's no Cesaro.
Yeah, well, he's over at AEW.
Yeah, so, I mean, the top 5, he's probably within, serious talking, as talent-wise, he's top 5. And he's using him as a jobber. I don't, I've said this before, and I'll say it again, I don't understand WWE's booking at times, where I just don't get it, where they've got talent. Secondly, they need to start looking at the indie system around the world to look for talent instead of trying to bring in celebrities, or I'm going to bring in high school freaking football players that don't make it or whatever else, and trying to create wrestlers. The biggest importance to wrestling, to being a great wrestler, is having a love for wrestling.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing. You can't teach that, to quote, right? That, what were those guys' names, Anthony? You can't teach that. I can't think their names.
Cass and Inlo.
Yeah, right. You can't teach that, and that's how it is, right? So if you're going to keep bringing people in, right, that have got no love for the business, Goldberg's another one, had no love for the business.
Nah.
He wasn't a wrestling fan before he got in, had no love for the business, right? Couldn't care less if the business froze over now or died. He made his money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you don't start bringing in people that love the business, that's why they're so short of great talent. You look at all their top guys at the moment, they're all wrestling fans, including Cena from the day they were kids.
Yeah.
I think that's what they need to start looking at. Looking back at the indie circuit and taking guys that can potentially do it, right? You potentially get the job done, right? Yeah, look, unfortunately, there's a lot of people in the indies around the world that will never be WWE material. It's just a fact.
Yeah,
right? It's the truth, right? Don't hate on that, because there's heaps of people who do acting courses and perform in church plays that will never get any further than what they are now. It's not because they're terrible people, that it's just because you don't have it.
Yeah, you got to have. Yeah, look, it's like anything. You need to have the it factor, but going, I suppose we got a bit off track, but Liv, look, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
It'd be interesting. You wouldn't bet on her holding the money, holding that belt after SummerSlam.
No.
You know, you not either SummerSlam or not much long after. I think once if Charlotte Flair comes back or another big name slots in, that'll be where they need a face too for someone like Flair, which is a heel, to take the belt off.
Well, it was interesting. They followed it up on Raw today, where Natalya came out to challenge her. Both SmackDown people on the Raw show, and then of course ended up in the tag match.
Was Rousey there in all this?
No, not today.
As Rousey spat it and said, "Stick your belt," and left.
No, she apparently, look, from all reports, was very happy for Morgan to take the belt. Maybe she wants to spend a bit more time with the baby or whatever. Maybe her contract, was only for a short amount of time, or
go back to Rousey Acres.
Well, who knows? But we'll talk about her a bit later.
Yeah,
I've got a few things I want to say about her. But what did you give the match overall? I gave it a 5.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, same. I gave it a 5.
Oh, okay. Jeez. Not often we all are spot on the same mark, but that's good.